Hello and welcome. I'm Patricia O'Reilly and I'm delighted you could join us for another edition of Out of Ireland. Coming up on this week's programme, all the highlights from this year's Celtic cruise along New York Harbour to support the tremendous efforts of the Emerald Isle Immigration Centre. And now back this side of the Atlantic, some highlights from this year's Celtic cruise around New York Harbour, which took place earlier this week. The event was held to support the work of the Emerald Isle Immigration Centre. A great place to be on a warm June evening, cruising on the Hudson River along New York Harbour. The Irish community came out in force for this year's Celtic cruise, with all proceeds going to the Emerald Isle Immigration Centre. The event, which left from Chelsea Piers, was held on board the Spirit of New York, with 3 floors of music, dance, food, drink, and of course, good company.
Division 7 has been involved for more than 20 years with Project Children in running this very same cruise. And it was a wonderful success. It was great fun for the community, but we also raised a lot of money for Project Children. Project Children stopped last year, had their last cruise. We didn't want to give up the event. So we've now affiliated with an excellent charity. This year, we have 500 folks on board, I believe. And it's a wonderful evening. The Cunningham brothers and the Celtic Cross have again donated their talents to us. There's great food. The Spirit of New York is known for its food. It's a great way to spend money for a good cause. We go out there, we sail around the harbor in New York, we pass the Statue of Liberty, sometimes fireboats visit us, and it's just a great evening of fun.
I can't imagine a more enjoyable way to spend a beautiful June evening than to cruise on the Hudson. Enjoy the beautiful scenery, the beautiful New York skyline. We just passed the space shuttle, which was installed. It landed today on the Intrepid, and now we're approaching the bridges in the Wall Street area. We passed by all the major landmarks, which are important to many immigrants. Ellis Island was the first port that many Irish immigrants landed, and the first view they had was the Statue of Liberty, which opened up her arms and welcomed all the many immigrants who came here in the late 19th century and early 20th century.
The spirit of the Irish was certainly evident on board the Spirit of New York. Organised by Division 7 of the Ancient Order of Hibernians, the event attracted all ages. Last year, the Hibernians celebrated their 175th anniversary, an incredible achievement for an organisation that continues to thrive.
I think it's a great idea, and it brings together, of course, 2 very important organisations here in New York, AOH Division 7 and the Emerald Isle Immigration Centre. And the coming together of those 2 is great. There's been a great rejuvenation going on in many of the AOH divisions, Division 7 being one example. And like in a few weeks' time, I'll be up in Syracuse attending the AOH National Convention. Nowadays, they're doing an active recruiting, so I think it's great that there is rejuvenation going on among the Hibernians. And of course, the Emerald Isle Immigration Centre, the main beneficiaries of tonight's event, they're doing incredible work here in New York, because I think that maybe a lot of your audience will, of course, realise that not all the Irish did really well in America. There are some who face challenges and difficulties. And the range of programs that the Emerald Isle Immigration Centre runs in its 2 offices here in New York is wonderful.
I drew a lot of inspiration just from the name of the vessel that we're on this evening. It's called the Spirit of New York. You all knew.
The evening was a tremendous success, and much needed funds were raised for the Emerald Isle Immigration Centre. With offices in Queens and the Bronx, the centre is supported by the City of New York and by the Irish government. But with recent cutbacks and more demand for their services, the Emerald Isle is under increasing pressure. Talk to me a little bit about some of the problems that you guys deal with.
Well, day to day, we're an immigration service provider. So what that means for anybody who's Irish, obviously we were started as an Irish organization, we will answer your immigration question, be it about citizenship, be it about your green card, about coming to America, staying in status, being sponsored, getting an employer to sponsor you. It runs the whole range. We're also funded by the City of New York to help people who are not Irish. We're based in the 5 boroughs, and we serve 54 different nationalities with all kinds of the same immigration services we provide to our Irish constituents. And that's expanded. It's only expanded in our programs because the need is there. Twice a week, we're teaching people English. We have volunteers through a program with New York Cares, and we're helping the next generation of immigrants to this city by our volunteers, and we're very, very proud of that program. We're also proud of the fact that we serve 25 meals a day on a Meals on Wheels program from our Bronx office and from that location, and that's something that's brought the community into us even more and showed us the great need that's there beyond that daily meal. There's isolated needs out there and people are lonely. We want to be able to meet that going forward.
Now, how will tonight help you in your work?
Well, knowing that we have funds coming in from this event will help any potential shortfall that we're going to have on aspects of our budget for next year, and there's a lot of gaps on that budget. This will fill them in so greatly, and that's what's so wonderful about tonight's event.
Initially, I came to New York as an immigrant from Ireland. I was looking for assistance, finding work primarily, but then also looking for somewhere just to get a bit of orientation, to find out what's happening on the ground in New York. So the Emerald Isle was great in giving me that sort of basic information, the information that any immigrant needs when they arrive in a foreign country: accommodation, job help, and then just, you know, some friendly advice, somewhere to turn to for assistance.
At this time of year, a lot of J1 students come over from Ireland, so the Emerald Isle Centre would help them find accommodation, find jobs, and just be that link between Ireland and, or between New York and Ireland. A lot of them would come over 18 and 19 and be leaving their parents for the first time, so the Emerald Isle Centre is a great link between themselves and their parents.
A great evening there, and all for a very good cause to support the work of the Emerald Isle Immigration Centre. Well, that's it for another week here on Out of Ireland, and don't forget to join us at the same time next week. But for now, from all of us here, I'm Patricia O'Reilly. Take care, and we'll see you soon.